So I'm Andy Reid, MBE, brand ambassador for Northern Eyes and Leon House. So I served in the armed forces, so I joined the army in 1997. I did 2 years over in Northern Ireland. Then I went to Iraq in 2003 on the invasion of Iraq. Iraq again in 2005 on a peacekeeping tour. And I really enjoyed my time in the army, to be honest. I did some amazing things, as well as being sent to some of these conflict zones. I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, walked through the Grand Canyon, spent 5 years living in Germany. You know, really embraced the German language when I was over there. Trigross beer bitter, that's 3 large beers. And Hanshin and Poms is chicken and chips. That got me through 5 years living in Germany, to be honest. That's all I needed, yeah. And then we moved from Germany back to the UK, to a place called Warminster, near Stonehenge, near Salisbury, Bath. Beautiful part of the country. And again, you know, really liked the army and got myself promoted to corporal. And then 2009, the big operation in Afghanistan called Operation Panther's Claw. And this is a big mission to push all the Taliban out of the Helmand province. Now, due to the intensity of fighting, a lot of guys were getting killed and injured. So the army come to our regiment and said, right, we need 127 what's called BCRs, battlefield casualty replacements. Guys to go over there and step into the shoes of guys who've been killed and injured. So they got us all on parade first and said, right guys, we want some volunteers who want to go to Afghan. I put my hand up straight away. We kind of knew where we were going. You know, it had been on the news, what was happening over there. Like obviously Wilton Bassett, I'm sure you've heard about where the guys get repatriated through. That was on the news, the coffins coming back and things like that. So we kind of knew where we were going, knew what we were getting into. But for me, as an infantry in the army, you know, I wanted to put all my skills to the ultimate test, and that might sound a bit crazy, but you know, either war fighting or peacekeeping. You've been in the army 13 years, done all this training and all that, and you want to go and test yourself to the best of your ability. And I think anyone does in any job that they do, you know, be a painter and decorator, a butcher, a builder, a school teacher. You want to test yourself and be pushed, I think, as hard as you can be pushed to see how you deal with that environment you go into. So every day when we were in Camp Bastion, we were there for 2 weeks waiting for a helicopter to take us to the front line. A helicopter would land on the helipad, an ambulance would race out to it, guys would get put on the ambulance and then it'd race off to the field hospital. And we're sat there thinking, we're going where these guys are coming from. It's a bit strange, and it's not being arrogant, but you just think it won't happen to me. You know, every time you leave that camp gate, you just think, I've learned this, I've learned that, I've got these skills in the bag, you know, I've been on this course, and you think, it won't happen to me. My skills are too good in a way, kind of thing. You know, I've got all this training drilled into me. I know what I'll do in that situation. And I think if you left that camp gate thinking today I'm going to get blown up, then you probably either couldn't leave the camp gate, or you probably would get blown up, because that's what you'd be thinking about. We went on one particular patrol from our location down to the green zone, and we went down there for 3 days and spent 3 days there, and then another team was going to come down, take over from us, and we were going to go back. Unfortunately, on their way down, the front guy with his metal detector stepped on an IED, he lost his arm. They get him some morphine, some tourniquets, got him on a stretcher, took him back to the main camp. So then we decided we couldn't stay there any longer. We'd have to wait till last light, wait till it goes dark, and go back to the main camp ourselves. And a young guy in my team, Fusilier Bush, come over to me and said, Andy, that guy's been injured there, he's my best friend. You know, I think he's going to be okay. So I was like, well, I'm not too sure, mate. You know, I know he's severely damaged his arm, but as we speak, he's on a helicopter now on the way back to Camp Bastion. The surgeons there will try and save his arm. You know, the first thing tomorrow morning, he'll probably get flown back to the UK, and then he'll go through that process of getting himself back on track. He said, you know what, Andy, I think I'd rather be dead than lose any limbs. So I said, right, mate, you know, don't think about that. You know, the surgeons, like I say, will try and save his arm. If he does lose his arm, he'll get rehabilitated, mate, and he'll be okay. And in 3 months' time, we're all going home. You'll be able to see him, and you'll be able to crack on and, you know, see how he's doing and the rest of it. I said, what I need you to do now is go and pack your kit, because in an hour's time, we're going on patrol. So I went and got a brief from the officers, come back, passed my guys on, and we set off on patrol about 2 hours later. So we had a section of 8 guys in front of us, the platoon sergeant, my section, then another one to the rear. And we've been patrolling for about an hour and a half, and all of a sudden the massive explosion went off, and the platoon sergeant had stepped on an IED, lost both his legs straight away. So I instantly grabbed Private Bush from my section, grabbed the medic to get down there, start treating the platoon sergeant with some first aid. So Private Bush went forward, escorting the medic down towards the casualty. Went about 3 metres forward, stepped on an IED, and he lost both his legs and his left arm. And we got the guys on a helicopter, got them sorted, off they went to Camp Bastion. Unfortunately, the platoon sergeant died on the helicopter on the way back to Camp Bastion. And Private Bush passed away 3 days later in Selly Oaks Hospital in Birmingham. Now, I was really struggling because I'd sent this guy forward and he told me that he'd rather be dead than lose any limbs. You know, I'm asking myself a lot of questions. Why did I send him forward? Why didn't I send myself forward? Why didn't I send somebody else forward? And I was really struggling, and I was thinking, you know, we were going back on patrol and my mind weren't 100% on what I was supposed to be doing. You know, I was thinking, these are the guys now, what if I made the same mistake again? You know, I've got another 7 guys now under my command, and my mind weren't 100% concentrated on what I was supposed to be doing. So I went and spoke to the Padre. Padre is like a vicar, what we have with us all the time. And, you know, a lot of the time the Padre on exercises and on other operations, he's a nice friendly guy, and he's always got a pocket full of sweets, pocket full of Haribo or whatever, and he comes round and goes, oh, you got some sweets, boys, and you have a chat with the Padre, and it's 100% confidential, whatever you say to the Padre. So I knew this was the guy that I needed to speak to, you know, and I went and spoke to him and said, you know, sir, I'm struggling to come to terms with the decision that I've made. Private Bush now lost his life because of that decision that I made. And he said, you know what, call Reid, Private Bush, highly trained as a valour man. That was his job. It's the medic's job to save life. So in that split 3 seconds that you made the decision, I truly believe you made the correct decision. And that gave me then the peace of mind that actually I've spoke to somebody about it, offloaded it out of my mind, and he's given me the reassurance that I'd made that correct decision. So then I could lead the guys back out on patrol the rest of the tour with my head in the game, the head where it was supposed to be, and carry on. So you need to speak to people, don't you? That's what we all need to do, whatever we're doing in life, whatever struggles we've got, by speaking to somebody about it is the most important thing to do.